In another major development, the electoral court sitting in Gauteng will today hear an application from Jabulani Khumalo. That's the man who registered the Wesizwe party. He filed urgent papers in the specialist court just days before the May polls in a bid to have the IEC's record of former President Jacob Zuma as the leader of MK invalidated and set aside. SABC News reporter Kenny Mapanga is covering that story. She joins us now live. So Kenny, what legal argument is Jabulani Khumalo advancing here?
Well, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Another day and another instance where we're seeing the Wesizwe party in the electoral court, which is sitting in the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg. However, this time we know that they are now the third largest political party in the country. That is a new formation that has made it into the top 5 of the country's changing political landscape. Now, the request is quite simple from the founder of Wesizwe, that is Jabulani Khumalo. He wants the court, rather the specialist court, to record him as the president or alternatively leader of the MK party, not the former president Jacob Zuma. Now I'm going to step out of frame to show you the public gallery so you do see who we are actually speaking about. That is Mr. Jabulani Khumalo, seated in the front row of the public gallery. He's wearing the grey suit with the glasses. So essentially what he is stating in his affidavit is that you may remember that ahead of those May polls, there was a letter sent to the IEC in which it stated that the former president was now the leader of the MK party and that he was resigning. Now he'll allege that that letter didn't come from him and that it was in fact rather allegedly forged, and that he'll argue that it came from the email address of the former president Jacob Zuma's daughter Duduzile. So he came to the conclusion that it had to have been allegedly forged by her. My understanding of his argument is that when he spoke about the former president being the face of the elections, that was not to be read as he was now resigning as the president. He states that he is still the president of that political party, the new formation, which now enjoys the status of being the third biggest party in the country. However, the face of the former president was supposed to only be used for the election campaign. So the same effect, Ayanda, as what you see with the IFP when they've used the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi as the face of their campaign. He will argue that this decision of the IEC must be invalidated and that instead the specialist court must order that he is the president or leader alternatively of the MK party. Now, you know, this is a new party, so they actually don't have any formal structures. They're working with interim structures at this point. They haven't gone to a conference to elect leaders. So I'm not sure how this court challenge will play out, because you're essentially asking the specialist court to intervene in internal political battles. We know that this case will not have an impact on the 2024 May polls as they have come and gone. However, it is an important case regarding the leadership of this new formation, this political party that we know is heading to various provincial legislatures as well as the National Assembly. And we know that those lists need to be sent to the Chief Justice by the 6th of June. So it is essential that this matter is concluded prior to these many representatives of this new formation taking up their seats in the various provincial legislatures as well as the National Assembly. They have to go with a structure that is certain, that is clear in terms of the law, and that is what the electoral court is tasked with today. However, if they feel that they don't have jurisdiction, this matter rather will just not proceed in the manner that Mr. Jabulani Khumalo had hoped. However, if they feel that there is a case here by the founder of the MK party, this means that essentially what would happen if he is successful, it would mean that he is a leader of the MK party, not the former president, and then of course that will have an impact on the party structures and lists, of course, that they submit to the Chief Justice ahead of these various political parties taking up their seats, if they can, in the next 14 days in the National Assembly and the various provincial legislatures. Now, we expect for that hearing to begin at 9:45 a.m. this morning with the electoral court hearing this matter, and we understand that the MK party will be vehemently opposing this application.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, to just reiterate a point you've already made, this certainly seems like a problem that needs a political solution and not one necessarily that can be meted out by judges in a specialist court.
Absolutely, and it's quite difficult for a political party like that of MK because they actually don't have that proper structure yet, or their constitutional processes within their own internal political party haven't been tested yet. So essentially, we don't know who exactly the leader is, and we don't know that if he was successful, would these interim structures even recognize him as the leader, because we know that there was following a number of months since their formation, there was seemingly a political fallout between Mr. Khumalo and the former president, Jacob Zuma. So even if he was successful here, would those structures that are out there, the MK party interim structures as they exist now, even recognize him as the political leader? So I don't know if this will be a fruitful application, even if the court does intervene, because we know political parties stand on their own, and we know that they need to have those elected leaders and those constitutional processes. Of course, it's a new political party that will now head into the National Assembly with interim structures. So it's a difficult scenario to deal with for the electoral court. However, if they do make such a decision, there's still the political backlash that could take place in the party, because we know that fallout exists between Khumalo and the former president Jacob Zuma, meaning that even if he was successful here, I don't see a reality where the structures, the interim structures of the MK party, accept Mr. Khumalo as their leader as ordered by the court. So essentially that is the relief that he's seeking. We know that the IEC is the one that registers those leaders, or states in those documents that this is our recorder of who the leader of the party is. So essentially he has to come to the electoral court if he wants to invalidate and set aside what the IEC has done earlier this month regarding the leadership of the MK party and who they've recognized. So it's going to be a long day of arguments, as this is an opposed application. However, it remains to be seen if Jabulani Khumalo, the founder of the MK party, a party that has now been recognized as the third biggest party in the country, the lead in KZN, and then of course the official opposition in Mpumalanga, to name a few, if he could possibly be the recognized or legally recognized leader of that political party.